Hello everyone. This is Dance Without Music, Expert 3C2, okay? And that's force, direction, and speed. I want to get through these and then we'll be finished with all of three and we'll be finished with the whole section of expert, the whole expert section. It's a big deal. Today I was cleaning everything, but we gotta get through this. I only got two more to go. This one's gonna be pretty extensive, okay? I can do this. I spend a lot of hours, like I said, at least now it's getting more than 100 hours. But for people who do YouTube, maybe this is a good suggestion. And when you know a topic so well, you could pretty much go through it with just like a simple kind of a layout, like introduction, conclusion, introduction, and then you have your body, and then your conclusion. The reason why I can do it this way, the reason why I'm explaining this, because I didn't really like organize it in any section this time. Sometimes it makes it more interesting. I could do it only if I really, really know the topic and really went over it and spent at least 100 hours on it. I know other people do YouTubes and they put a lot of they edit in a lot of fun things, visuals and stuff like that. And cutting and editing and stuff like that. The reason why I don't do that because you have to find it. There's a really, really, can I say beautiful, or there's something really, really how can I say? I don't know, it's just something really magnificent that you have to find that you can do. And that's one reason why I don't think I would, for the time being, I really don't think I would use a lot of fancy things to catch your attention, because I want you to catch your attention. You catch your attention and go, oh wow, that's something so great. So anyway, I'm going to get on this right now. This is, like I said, Dance Without Music, Expert 3C2. And then I have one more to go, but this one's very extensive, okay? Now we talked about that, let me see, that force, force, direction, and speed, the same thing, okay? The same thing. And I might as well lay it out to you right now before I get into the lesson, that everybody knows what latitude and longitude is. We're going to use that with Dance Without Music. It's the same thing. Latitude, longitude, same thing. Point, because we really work with the point of latitude, longitude. So it's the same thing. Another thing that's going to be the same thing, so you don't have to figure out this is latitude or this is longitude. It's just when it comes up. I'm saying some of these things because I'm so influenced by the next topic, the next stage that we're going to go into, which is precision. And I'm on precision right now. I'm working on it, but I have to give hints and clues, or things to look forward to. So I might draw some things from that. So one thing is latitude and longitude is the same, but just like force, direction, and speed, which we work on, is the same thing. Another thing is the same thing. Time and distance, same thing. Time and distance is going to be the same thing with Dance Without Music. So right now, this point in this introduction, because we have to go outside. If you've been following this, which you would have to follow if you can understand this one. I said that I would go out because we have a labyrinth. I think it's pronounced mostly labyrinth or labyrinth. And we're going to go there. It's going to be the first time that I actually go from one point to the next, and it's going to be in the same video. But there's things you have to know, because when I get there, there might be people there, and I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to um, I'm pretty much gonna let what happen, whatever happens. So I'm not, it's just, it's out of my control, which just makes it more fun, I think. So there's things. So I'm gonna go through the labyrinth, and it's I'm gonna go right through it. So the things I'm saying right now is gonna help you to get through this. When I'm speaking about different vocabulary and different things that I'm going to do. Okay, so we have force, direction, speed. This one is on direction. I said they're all the same thing. At this level, it's all the same thing. It is so powerful as you go into precision and you see how you can utilize something. Another point too, the last lesson, Dance Without Music, expert. I didn't put the expert in, but it's expert. I didn't put it in on the last YouTube because I forgot or something. It slipped my mind. But it's expert 3C1. Okay? And I said that to say something. Oh, to say that the reason why that one was a concentration on force. This one is a concentration on direction. Okay? How something can be concentrated when they're the same thing. The reason I can, like for instance, the first one was on force, direction, speed. Because I used force so much, it was concentrated with force and you were able to view it. Now this is force, direction, speed. There's going to be so many directions that it's going to be concentrated with directions, so it's going to view. You're going to be able to see the direction more in force, direction, speed. Okay, I'm sorry. I was cleaning today too. I had so many things to do. I'm getting right through this. There's nice things that happen to me. I hope they continue to happen. As far as the things I was telling you about, I'll tell you about it later if I have time, or it's really nice. Maybe in the next video it'll be better then. But let me go forward. Okay, now force, direction, speed. There's some things I do when I do the labyrinth. In order to go from one point to the next, you need measurements. And this is getting into precision time also, but we need this. It was drawn from precision, but it's helping. It'll help you to understand force. Getting from one point to the next, you need measurement. However, in Dance Without Music, there's measurements, but no numbers. I can go as far to say there's no mathematics, okay? The only thing, there's no mathematics, but mathematics is used to communicate or to make things, and it's really like a communication, or to invent, or to duplicate. Okay, so you take something that has no mathematics in it. When I say mathematics, I mean like numbers. So understand that. This is with Dance Without Music. I take all the numbers are out. As far as, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is this much, this is this much. Because in reality, sometimes if you go 1, 2, 3, as far as tension is concerned, you can go 1, but then in Dance Without Music, you have 2, 3, 4, 5, and it gets smaller and smaller, but it still advances. So I take all the numbers out, okay, as far as the mathematics of Dance Without Music. So I'm saying, in order for us to advance through the labyrinth, we have to use measurements, okay? And like I said, time, distance is the same thing for Dance Without Music. The first movement of force that I want to show you, which is the direction, which means we're going to get through this. We need this to get through the labyrinth. It's going to be here. And we're going to call this, remember, another thing another point too. We have apparatus, which I told you about. As soon as you do something, you form an apparatus. If I say I'm going to put this belt on, I'm going to form an apparatus because we did it so much, but the body needs an apparatus. The control makes an apparatus. And if you're really, really advanced, when you go to precision, you'll see as soon as I put this belt here, I think I can see the apparatus. I can see the control set in the apparatus. And if you look at the whole apparatus, you have power, which is imperfection. Okay, that's after precision. Okay, so I formed the apparatus. My control forms the apparatus. If I put it down, I'll throw that I can also throw that apparatus away, and then I change my mind and I get a box, and then that's another apparatus set. I can't even say how fast because it's been worked on. It's been worked on, which takes a long time also. So I got this belt. Okay, I'm gonna put the belt on, and I had to tuck my shirt in because I want you to see some of the movements that we're gonna make. The first thing we're gonna do is diameter. Okay. Now, diameter, which is here and here, that's the force moving. If you don't know about force, if your body's not conditioned, it's not, most likely it's not force, or it's a very weak force because you haven't built up your force, because your force that you use, you can continually keep part of your force in your foot. You can keep it in your leg because you don't know what it is. So you're not using the force properly. But if you have a condition in your body, I can take the force here and the force is leading me. Okay? So now I'm going to put this belt on so that you can see some of the movements better. That's why I have a tighter shirt so you can see the force movements. And the force is going to take us through the labyrinth. Okay? Because you need measurement. Okay? You need measurements in order to get through the force. Remember, measurements are not, there's no numbers in measurements. I would go as far as there's no numbers in measurements. I mean, ultimately, at a certain position. I can put numbers in it so that I can simplify something, but we're not, so far as I know right now, we're not going to use any measurements. Okay, let me put the shirt in. Now, diameter. The diameter, let me finish this. Okay, there's places that the force goes. And I was talking about apparatus. Okay, you form the apparatus. I did the apparatus. Everything I did with this belt is utilizing the control, picks up, it makes the apparatus, and it knows exactly what things to use. I said I don't use the names of the body because you're in a perspective. But the closest thing to me saying something as far as the physical body is concerned, I call it mechanism. The apparatus uses a mechanism. This is a mechanism, okay? This is a mechanism, no plural. Plural will complicate things. However, you have an internal understanding or meaning which changes it slightly, and you'll understand when I say something singular and plural, just because when you mean something different, it does change the texture of the word, and you'll get that as you go on. But everything we use, which I came up to an agreement with, I decided to do, is hardly use no plural, okay? So the apparatus, like I said, when I put this belt on, it utilizes mechanisms. Say if I hurt my hand, okay? The control can actually subtract out certain parts of mechanism. This is the mechanism, this is the mechanism. Together, these two things that I'm moving is mechanism, okay? But you could tell by the way I say it, and you should be able to, and later on you'll pick up on it, better. But I'm mechanism, okay? this is a mechanism, and this is a mechanism, okay? So the mechanism, when I say it, and I gotta be careful, sometimes I make mistakes because this is new. Sometimes I say, sometimes I'm gonna say mechanism. The apparatus utilizes the mechanism. So what I'm saying is it sets up the apparatus, and it says, and it sets up, it doesn't say, but you know, it sets up and it knows that it's going to utilize, it targets certain mechanism to do what it wants. And that's what I'm saying, in precision and perfection, you'll see the whole mechanism. Like, you'll be able to detail the whole mechanism. So I utilize that whole mechanism. That's another thing, like when you tie your shoe. The reason why you think that you're doing it subconsciously, but you're not really doing it subconsciously. It's just that you don't know what you're doing. You're actually utilizing a mechanism. But if you're utilizing an apparatus which utilizes certain mechanism. So if you have that concept inside, you can see exactly what you're doing when you tie your shoe. Okay, so I did that. Okay, and that's done. So now you can see some movements better when I make the movements. Okay, so we have this mechanism right here. The apparatus is going to set up this. I'll say mechanism, and the control. That's into control. We're talking about force. I'm going to put the force to go from here to there. So I'm taking the force going from here to there. But this is called diameter. So that means I can move this. We're calling this the diameter. Okay. But when the force moves through here to here, it's the diameter. Okay. Because it can go here, it can go here, it can go here. So one movement, one advancement is like this, okay, from here to here, okay. So I'll do that again, and I'm going to use that because there's parts in the labyrinth where you have to turn. A lot of people, when they turn, they go like this, okay. To me, as far as that, which I'm going to I'm going to use quadrant. If you don't know quadrant, you have to go through the other lessons. I'm using all the vocabulary that we know. We can come up with anything as far as vocabulary that we already know. Okay, the quadrant, okay? So when the quadrant, the diameter, because the force, I'm conditioned, and I'm using the force that I want to use. I'm going to move it through the diameter, I already talked about mechanism, but I don't want to use too many vocabulary words. But I'm going to take the force and I'm going to move. And now the force is there. It advanced this much, okay? So it's here, and now I'm going to move here. The reason why I say that, because when I make a left turn, I'm going to use the diameter to move, okay? And to move a right angle. So if I want to make a left, I'm going to move like that and then go forward. Then in other parts of the labyrinth, you might have to go around like this, like a U-turn, but you're turning. So I'm going to go like this. However, I'm not going to walk like this. I'm going to use the force. I'm going to use the diameter, the force in the diameter, and I'm going to go like this, and then go around, and then come back up. Right now, I can't really explain why, but I'm not going to say body, but the mechanism naturally, or the apparatus, chooses the control, makes the mechanism in a way that it will advance to the U, to the left, to the right. I'm not going to say right either. To this way in a circle, okay? It utilizes the diameter. So when I'm doing this, when we get to the labyrinth, I don't have to explain it to you, okay? So I'm going this way. I know that I have to advance this way. And I'm going to go this way and then come back up, okay? more efficient. It's the way that the actual way that the control sets up the apparatus to use. Later on, we can break it down in precision. If it goes this way, that means it's going to have to go like this. Okay, come up and then go back. Okay, let's see. Let me start here. So if I'm going to go this way, the diameter. I'm using a diameter right now, but just other things. Okay, and then I'm going to turn here. I'm going to turn here. So I'm going to go around and then go like that. Let me do it further back so that you can see that on this side. Okay, and on this side. Okay, there's so many things involved. I'm really grabbing the basic things. Now, so we have the diameter. So I can go like, this is diameter, my force is in here, okay? There it goes, it's here. I use the force to move everything. Now I'm gonna move the force to move back, okay? Okay, so we have the force in the diameter. We got that now. There's another one, and I'm simplifying this so that we can get through this. And I told you I'm in precision, so I'm utilizing some things from precision so that it won't be so. So you can kind of, when you do get to precision, you can kind of have a you can have a kind of like a feel for it, you know. Okay, so so now we have radius. So we have the diameter, and the reason why it's a diameter, which I'm getting off of this right now, is that you have a radius and a diameter, okay? But this one is totally a diameter because you can't really break it up, okay? You can't really break it up. It's like a definite diameter, okay? Then we have radius. The reason why I'm playing this is because we have a radius. I was watching Michael Jackson just recently, and my friend put it on, and it helped me out because I got to see. We always worked about. We know this whole thing is dedicated to Michael Jackson. I already explained that, and I explained why. Okay, so and we've been working on the kick for a long time. I kind of stalled the kick because it's very complicated. I mean, you could just do it, but I want you to know what you're doing. Like right now, no matter what, I don't know what level you're at, you are developing now your sense of this diameter, okay? The mechanism. All those things are going to help you get through everything. And I didn't have all of that. I didn't have anybody helping me to tell me which direction I was going in. I just had to find it. And so you can keep just telling you that you're getting something that's really priceless, but you know, you can take advantage of it or you don't have to, but I'm almost sure a lot of people will. Especially when they see other people. People have to see other people. They have to see that I can continue to advance. If I don't advance, they throw the thing away, okay? Most people, but not everybody. So anyway, now we have a radius. I used radius for this, okay? And I was telling you about the kick because I noticed he goes like this, and that's part of his kick, okay? But now we're going to use it as an advancement, as a way of moving, as a way of progressing. Remember, in time and distance, okay? Because if I take this and move this here, okay, the force has came from here to here. So we're doing force, direction. So I'm making a direction, okay? And now you can kind of see why I stalled on learning about the kick, because it was more to be explained, okay? So now we have, as I'm talking to you, and the things I'm doing, the control is I'm setting up, how can I say? My control is setting up things for you constantly, okay? So this is force, I'm taking and putting it in this direction, okay? okay, this is from here to here, okay? And that's from here, there's a point. The reason why it's called a radius, because this radius has a point from here to here. It's a point, okay? And you can shoot and you can load your point, like I told you a long time ago. You can load your control and you can put the force in here, okay? So I'm loading it and making the force here. So that's a distance from here to here, but time and distance is the same. So this is a radius, okay? And then I'm gonna put that down, and a radius, and a radius. So you got one radius, but it has two directions. It has that and that, that and that, that and that, okay? These are the basic things for the force, direction, speed, okay? But you have to have things to hold on to, or foundation, I can say, in order to get into more precision. So now I talked about the diameter. Now I'm talking about the radius. A radius, 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 radius. Now, there's something about, when I was telling you also in the other lessons, I was telling you about the left and the right is totally different. I mean, okay, there's certain things that are like, I have, sometimes it's hard for me because I want to utilize certain words that I can't, because it has to stay at a certain basic level of understanding. So sometimes, okay, and I stated it before, but now I don't have the word, but I want the word. When something, okay, the same thing on one side as the other, okay? I know there's a word for it, and I used it before, but right now it's not coming up. Okay, so there's a lot of things that are the same, like this and that, but as far as, like I explained to you before, the quadrant, it's once you get in a quadrant, especially in the force, it's not the same thing. It utilizes every part, every different mechanism. It utilizes the mechanisms in different ways so that you can do other things. Like, for instance, I have the mechanism here. Okay, like for instance, the diameter. I just explained to you that. This side utilizes something different than this side so that you can do more. If both sides did the exact same thing, then you would just have one thing that you can do. If it utilizes both sides, like for instance, this is a natural side, like I explained to you before, and this is called the other side. Because of the fact that they can be, they can be used for different things, it makes it more, it gives you more power, okay? So that's what I'm talking about as far as the radius is concerned. And what I was telling you is, what I really was telling you from the past was that there's something different here in this mechanism down here. I still don't know what it is, but it's still developing. Once you can continually go through this and your body gets conditioned, you'll notice premonition, like I said, you'll get a premonition. I have a premonition that this one, I don't have a clear premonition, but I have a premonition that this one is totally different. It utilizes some kind of advanced functions. But I could make it to where these two are the same, but I want to be patient and see, and it's developing. You have to, once you get used to this, you'll see whether something is developing in a natural stage or something wrong. That's another thing in the apparatus. The apparatus will let you know. If I put this belt on and there's something wrong, it's going to subtract out, or it's going to have some kind of pain, or it's going to give you some kind, you'll see that there's something wrong in some mechanism. So it makes adjustments. So that's why I know here that there's something, like if I can go like this, but not to do this. I mean, I could do it, but there's something, there's something very advanced about the difference in this one and this one. However, if I was stubborn, I would make this one be like this one, and then I would lose that. But because I've been doing this so long, and I know how things work, and I know it's not something negative, because I could say, oh, is there something wrong with my foot or whatever, then I would go to the doctor and find out. But there's not. Because it progresses, I know that it's an advanced feature. So I'm just letting you know that, because I'm explaining to you why I do not go from here. I'm just utilizing this one as far as the weight, but I don't utilize this one the same way, okay? I'm waiting for that information. As it develops, I'll find out, I'll get a premonition of what it does, and I explain to you what premonition is. Okay, now we have, what I wanted to explain to you is we have a radius, and this is a radius, because it shoots from here to there. And when you walk, and then we have this radius also, okay? So when you walk in a straight line, I know you don't notice it, and these are features of the force which utilizes direction that you're not familiar with. They're like hidden. And that's what I do, okay? People usually walk the same way all the time. That's why they don't have any problems. They walk the same way all the time. But if they get new features, it would change their walk. It would change a lot of things. So anyway, so now, like I said, now we have this, we have the radius, and I'm just saying it goes here to there. It shoots that radius, it shoots the radius, it shoots the radius, it shoots the radius. And that helps us, this always happens, for a straight, I pretty much can use it for a straight line or changing lanes. Like if you're in a car, you change lanes. So this part of the apparatus, which utilizes force, like I said, force, direction, and speed, but we're doing direction. So there we go. We have the direction. It makes the direction. It makes the direction. And it keeps that straight line because it's one force. Another thing too, the force is total, it's perfect, like I said, and it's connected. Another point about the labyrinth, the reason why I'm using labyrinth, you can't do it subconsciously. And you'll see the sign. I'm gonna show you the sign that they have for when you get into the labyrinth and how vague it is. But it won't be vague to you because you were in dance about music, and you'll understand that that a lot of information is not there, okay? We don't have a lot of information, but as far as dance about music, when you see the entrance and the sign that they have for the labyrinth, you'll go, wow, I do know a lot more, okay? So anyway, so we have this part. So we have this, the next thing I want you to know is this radius, and it's called radius. If I can say that when the radius shoots from here to here, and I'm not saying a radius, and what makes the radius is the force is in a direction, okay? So it's going to shoot that force, there's the force and the direction. But I'm just gonna use direction, okay? And that's one, okay? Even though it travels here to there, it has a direction. It has a direction here. And remember, direction it's going to take me through the labyrinth, okay? And it can't be done subconsciously because you're in a labyrinth where your mind is like a light bulb, okay? Okay, and then I'm going to go there, I'm going to go there, and I'm going to go there. If I want to change the lanes, that radius, from here to there, here to there, it's like that radius, okay? I can change lanes, okay? And that is the direction. I can change lanes. I can change the lanes over here. It's going to utilize that radius. Now, another thing is, which I want to state, objective and subjective. Forget about, they have so many meanings, so many different meanings, so many, people just utilize subjective and objective too many times to me. But as far as Dance Without Music, subjective is anything within that we work with. Objective is anything that we share. Okay, like the labyrinth, anything to do with the labyrinth is going to be objective because we share it. Okay, we share it with someone else. Okay, like for instance, I just told you about the radius. So evidently, the radius is not subjective. I mean, this radius is subjective because it's something that we have. Okay, now we're going to go into tension. When you get into, I'm going to start another thing about the labyrinth. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. You're gonna the control is gonna form a setup. Okay, it's more extensive than an apparatus. Okay, we're gonna start in the center and then go out and then we're gonna be finished. We're not going in and then go out. You're gonna notice that in the circle, it's you can't go out. If it sets up, when the control sets up a system, I forgot what I just used. When it sets up this program to go through the labyrinth, it's pretty big. Okay, it will not let you. As long as your mind, as long as it's in that program, that setup, okay, it won't let you go further. Okay, you could drop it at any time and then able to walk out the circle in any way you want. But while it's in, you can't. Okay, so that means when you're in a circle and there's only one way to get out the circle or the center of the labyrinth, there's only one way to out. Is because you can see different pressure points. Okay, if I get close to the edge of the circle in the middle without going out, you should be able to feel inside the setup that you can't go. Okay, then when you see the point that we can enter out, it's going to be open in the program. I don't want to say program, but it sets up. I said a perfect word last time in the beginning, but it sets up for that program of the labyrinth. Okay, and it lets you go out there. But when we're walking the labyrinth, on each side it's going to be pressure. Okay, you're going to see the pressure inside the program. Once you get to a higher point, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But what I'm saying is that what you see as far as the road is concerned, as far as the path is concerned, you're gonna you see it with your eyes, but it has a setup. And if you get close to the side, there's gonna be pressure. If you get too close to the other side, it's gonna be pressure. It's not bad because you could just throw away your normal, so you could just bring that program back anytime, that setup anytime. Some people can. That's what they call some kind of compulsive. When they get set into, that's what I feel. Okay, you can get set inside a program. I'm gonna say program, a system in your control to where you can't drop it. Okay, and that's another reason why you do exactly the way I say and take your time. The reason why I know this is the only program because it's a program. I mean, people will plan cities and they'll take like 20, 50 years to plan something in a city, like a metro or something. But this one is taking time to plan something for yourself, okay? And it takes as much time as it wants, okay? And like I said, this is up to 40 years once I finish the 3C. Okay? So we're talking about the pressure. The reason why I'm into pressure, because you see the sides, which you should be able to feel that there's pressure on each side because you can't go over to one side to the other side. So it adapts, it makes it sets up a system. Most likely, it's bigger than a mechanism. The reason why it's bigger than a mechanism, it's bigger than an apparatus. The reason why it's bigger than an apparatus, because remember what I said, it's objective. Objective is something that we all use as far as dancing without music. That's another term for dance without music. It's objective, okay? So that's why it's not an apparatus. It uses so many apparatus or whatever. We're not going to say apparatus for this one because it's objective. So it uses a system. I say that's the closest, if I find a better word. So your control sets up a system, okay? It's like if you're playing football, you have a system, which is rules and things like that. If you're in basketball, it's a different setup. Your control makes a different setup. It utilizes pretty much everything. It utilizes the features of the objectivity that you're faced with. You can figure it, you can fill that out. If you can figure that one out, and you should be able to if you follow all it takes. So I'm saying this to show you another measurement or another advancement that we can make. And that is, so now we have diameter, and it's going to stay the same unless I change it. Diameter, which advances, and that's the diameter, and the force uses the diameter, okay? Even the force uses the diameter, okay? Still using the diameter. Here, the force utilizes, this is called the radius, okay? Utilizes the radius. The force utilizes the radius here, okay? So, and you can call this, if you're familiar with the quadrant, this is the other. We call everything on this side, and remember this thing flips around, so you have to figure that out too. This is the other radius, and this is the natural radius, okay? And that's when you're in the quadrants, and that's important also because you have saying the same thing, but you're saying the same thing, but it's the different sides. But as you go along, I'm not going to go there because that one's it's way advanced. Okay, so now we're on a pressure. So we have pressure. So now we have two pressures. We have two things that the force utilizes for direction. As far as, I'm just going to say we have two directions because we're not going to separate these yet. They're all one. We're on to concentrating direction. We have two directions. So we make this a direction, like I said. We have the other radius, which is a direction. We have this, which is a direction. We have diameter, which is a direction. And now we have, what is this? Now we have pressure. I set up the pressure. Now we have something. We have an objective pressure, which everybody shares when they go through the labyrinth. This side, this side. The system won't let you go here, it won't let you go on the other, too far on the other side. So we need something subjective. So we have the pressure, and we talked about pressure before. So this is pressure. This is on this side, right here. It's called the natural pressure. Okay. In this one, on this side, the direction on this side, from this side, I'm gonna call it direction, okay? This one is the natural direction, this one is the natural direction, and this one is the other direction. The other direction. The other pressure, which is a direction. So we have the other pressure, and we have the natural pressure. So we have two pressures, okay? And this corresponds with the objectivity. objectivity, like I said, in the labyrinth, you have this side and this side, okay? And this, when you, I mean, the control has set up a system which handles the pressure on this side, and it has a pressure, a natural pressure, and an other pressure. And it goes from here to here, the direction, okay? So let's use that one, okay? So I'm getting close to the side, okay? And this is the pressure. I can see the pressure on this side, okay? And the pressure is the pressure signifies a wall, something like a wall or something that has to be followed, okay? So if I'm on this side, I'm utilizing this pressure. That means it's going to affect the movements, okay? I can use it to turn. I mean, I can use it like this, and I can use it like this, but the pressure tells you that there's something objective that may I don't want to say danger, that will affect your quadrant, okay? So if I'm using this one, there's something, it's not scary or anything, it's just something that shows that there's a wall, or there's not a danger, but there's a change that has to be made, okay? So I'm going to use that too. So you have your lanes that you can change with your radius, but then if I keep going like this, and I'm going to go into pressure, now I'm changing lanes, okay? And then when I reach here, let me see if I do it far away, and then you can see it. So I'm changing lanes with my radius, and then I go here, and I can't go anymore. So that means that there's some adjustments that have to be made, okay? That's all. So now that's another direction. And I think that's gonna be it, unless I come with something else. And like I said, it's in a circle. So, oh, there's another thing too. You have radius, okay? Two radius can come together to make a bigger radius, okay? I interchange, there's radius and there's diameter. I'm using diameters because it's locked into a diameter, okay? I can have this right here, and I call it a radius, okay? And then I have this right here. And the reason why I'm using radius so much and diameter, I'm setting instructions for them, because like this this radius can be used in so many different things, okay? Okay? And this radius can be objective or subjective, okay? So anyway, this is the radius, but two radius that come together make a bigger radius, okay? So I have this radius, I have this radius. If they hit together, two radius will make a larger radius, okay? Not diameter. These things are for dance about music. It's mathematics without music, without numbers or anything, but I don't want you to look at it as mathematics. Like I said, mathematics, the only way you would use mathematics for this, and you will use it, is when you write a dance or write a movement. Then there's going to be measurements. But inside yourself, you don't need measurements because you can see it. This means this. This point from here to here, you utilize it yourself, so you don't need a number. So when these two radius come together, okay, it will form a bigger radius, and it can get bigger, okay? And you could put it together. Here's radius, radius. I can put another radius on here, and I can add another radius, which will make an even bigger radius. And this will still be radius, because somebody else could connect that, and that will be a radius. So you understand that, okay? And that's just another point. There was another one that I said that you could. Okay, I wanted to make that one when it comes like this, but I also want to, well, I want one to come together in a different way. Like, for instance, I want it to come together, how can I say it? I don't want it to come down like that. I had explained to where a radius can come like this. Oh, and it can come, and it could come like, okay, I know what I was gonna do. But I don't know how I did it. Okay. See, I was saying that, okay, so I was, okay, let me see. Okay, like, you also, no, but it's still like this. I wanted a radius that came together like this. Okay, see if I can do it. Okay, so it could come together like this and make a radius, but it can also come together like this and make a radius. Okay, so that means like you could have like an angle which comes into a radius. I don't know how I did it before, but I know when I was practicing this, it's like you see these two things right here, and this can lock into a radius also, and you can use it. And you can see how now we're able to make, we can figure out movements, and you need direction in order to make movements, in order to make dance. And we did a little bit more of Michael Jackson's dance, like with his leg, so that's part of dance. But there's a lot of movements now that we can make. You see this? Okay, we got that down pat, and that's used. I'm almost sure Michael Jackson used this. And we got this now. We got that, and we got the four. We got the tension. Okay. Okay. Tension. So there's a lot of things that we're going to be able to do in precision. Now we're going to go to. We have to go to the labyrinth. I hope everything works out there. This is not over yet.